Any questions?
So what's the real controversy? Who do they think did it?
Everybody calls it like what they say is it's an inside job, but who knows who did it or specifically who.
So World Trade Center 7, the small building,
Right.
just suddenly
Collapsed.
no, like a ball of fire.
No, it wasn't like a ball of fire. It just was standing and it was smoking. And there's video evidence of people, the police coming out and saying, this building's going down, it's going down, everybody move back all day long, and then finally it just collapses.
Can you go to the next slide?
Yeah.
But do you think they were saying that because of what had happened to the other two buildings, and it was more fear of things?
No,
they were saying that.
Well, here's the other.
Buildings all over.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. That there's way more to the story. I mean, like the BBC reported the collapse of World Trade Center 7 before it actually collapsed. There's a newswoman right there, and it's behind her, and she's saying, World Trade Center 7 has collapsed. She's getting news about it, and we're talking about 20 minutes before. That's all over the internet. I mean, don't take my word for it. Go look it up.
Really?
Yeah, weird
this
stuff like that.
Is.
I really don't think if it was an inside job, they'd be telling someone.
Is this 7?
Yeah.
This is 7.
Yeah.
No. 7 is up there.
Where?
Right.
This is 7?
No, right there.
There.
You got our inside girl.
Okay. Can you go to the next, the one with the sparks?
Okay. All of these are 7 except for this Howe building implosion.
Okay, next. I saw something. The next one. The next one. Next.
Okay. What?
No. Before that. There was like showing you before that.
Okay.
Before that.
Okay.
Fire ones?
Before that.
Just the pictures of the buildings.
No. You showed thermite and the molten aluminum. Where is it?
Okay.
Oh,
Let me I have.
Oh, where is it?
I'm moving.
There. Okay. So this one, this is 7. This is 7.
No, that's not 7. That's the South Tower of World Trade Center.
Oh, okay.
I'm just using it as an example of thermate, which how could it possibly maintain its liquid form and yellow and whatnot by adding lots and lots of sulfur? If there's lots and lots of sulfur in it, it implies that a thermate reaction may have occurred because thermate makes the melting point of, the sulfur in it
Makes it lower.
Right, exactly. And so that's how he did it. So he threw a bunch of sulfur in it. He was able to make it pour for longer.
So they, when they looked at the debris, they found sulfur.
Okay. What they did is they found the metal pieces in World Trade Center 7 that were basically worn away from a eutectic reaction of sulfur, iron, and oxygen, and nobody could explain it. It's considered to be, like in the New York Times, they said, one of the greatest mysteries is how did this happen with this piece of steel? But it was quietly buried. Nobody even addressed it. It was in the rubble of World Trade Center 7. I don't think it's just one piece. I think it's several.
Yeah. So where do they account for the presence of sulfur?
They analyzed it, and the analysis of the actual surface of the corrosion indicates that there's high concentrations of sulfur.
Where do they attribute where did it come from?
Oh, they say that it's probably from the gypsum, and that's never happened before. And the easier explanation is just, the quick explanation is the thermate reaction.
Yeah. Gypsum, like gypsum
iron.
boards.
Yeah, gypsum boards, or calcium sulfate. Yeah.
And that would initiate that kind?
Right.
No.
Well, that's what they said. Don't tell me. I'm just telling you what kind of explanation they've given.
So you're telling me that if we use gypsum boards here in the valley because it's very hot, something like that can cause everything to go down?
They didn't say that, but that's kind of what they're hinting, that under certain conditions, maybe that would happen, to explain it. So you have to, now one might ask, I'll just get ahead of myself, why would anybody want to do something like that? Well, look at everything that's happened. This has been used as an excuse to invade other countries, to basically strip us of our civil liberties. Look at everything that's happened. If you take away 9/11, then imagine how none of what has happened in the last 10 years would have happened. It wouldn't be in Iraq, the central area where all the oil is at. We're in Afghanistan as a result of saying that we're looking for bin Laden. What if bin Laden wasn't responsible? Or was a patsy? Don't even, that's a whole other story. I'm just sticking to the science. But there's tons and tons of videos
the politics of that? Okay, because now you're getting into politics.
Right.
The politics
I don't want to
of
get
that
into politics.
is that Bush wanted to go in there before this all happened anyway. And whether or not this was what created it is a separate story. Why we're in Afghanistan has nothing to do with bin Laden. It has to do with the fact that there are separate terrorist groups in there. They never, for a very short period of time, did they think he was there. I mean, at this point, he's most likely like freaking Egypt or something crazy.
Yeah, I totally respect what you're saying, but believe me, and you know, just there's tons of documentaries where people have painstakingly put all of this stuff together.
They're talking about
they're just interesting. I'm not saying don't judge.
These are people who also believe that they found an extra, you know, part of the Bible in New Jersey. So I mean, you're not. I mean, if you're. I guess that's my thing. The credibility of some of those scientists, I have an issue with, because BYU is not exactly the most credible university that's out there. At least not the.
Well, the thing is,
Mormon University.
What are called the debunkers, they can write a peer-reviewed paper if they want to combat the
I have an
evidence
issue
that they
with
haven't
that.
done
That's a credibility issue.
That is a credibility issue.
So I have, and I mean, like I agree. You know, if all this stuff, I understand it's chemical, whatever. But I have an issue with the people that are the most painstakingly into this are the people that are university professors at BYU. Like, you have to be a certain type of person to even be accepted to be a professor there.
The only thing that I can test, here's the only thing that I can test. The only way that it could be wrong is if they literally tainted the World Trade Center dust.
Well, who gave them permission? Okay, and then this is
and they got it from different samples, and there's a chain of custody to all of them. I mean, there's a whole story behind that
But
too.
that's the other thing. Like, who says that whoever gave them whatever this partial sample was even correct? Like, my thing is they didn't go to the actual building. No government official is going to allow
Here's the thing that I would say to that. What I think is just completely mind-boggling and very suspicious is that the government doesn't do anything about it. Well, get your own World Trade Center dust and analyze it. I'm sure you've got tons of
You don't know that
them.
they haven't. It's the same thing. Oh my gosh, that is so ridiculous. Because
Biden-
you have no idea
Biden was
whether or not they
given-
haven't. You are not part of like any sort of government affiliation, so you have no idea what they're doing behind your backs. They do so many things without us even knowing.
Well,
There are
yeah,
so many.
I
So
know, like,
please, if
maybe
you're going to try to
this.
sit there and tell me that they probably haven't even touched the dust. Please, they probably have mounds of it in hundreds of offices at this point, and they won't tell us anything about it because one, it's a fear of the entire population to begin with, and two, if it is have anything to do with the terroristic act, they're not going to put that out in the public and make them realize that we know what's going on. That's ridiculous. Like, no way do I believe that the government has not even touched this thing.
Oh yeah, I'm
They
sure
will
they know
only put
everything.
out there.
You know?
I do believe the government only puts out there what they want us to know, but at the same time, they do that part. I believe, at least, they do it mainly for the protection, and not. I mean, yes, I do believe that some of the stuff that, especially in the last administration, things were done that were like the whole Patriot Act. I'm completely and 100% against, but.
That came about
as a result of this, right? Which honestly, with an administration the way that they were going, it was going to happen anyway. So that was already in the works to begin with.
Okay, all I'll say is just that I just expect that if you really want to contest the evidence, you can just, I mean, it's all out there, you know, it's not anything that you have to take my word for. And in fact, I encourage you not to take my word for it. So look it up yourself. Any questions? Sorry to bring you all down. How do I disconnect this thing?
Escape and then, alright. Any questions on the thermate and thermite reaction? Okay. Alright. That was a very informative report.
Thank you.
Good job.